Hi everyone, I want to show you a very important aspect of Necromancer pushing, which is quite undervalued I believe, and which might also be done wrong by a lot of people, basically preventing them from pushing very high. The thing is that with Bone Spear, it is actually it's the strongest build in the game right now, and it can go tier 150 as has been proven already with around 3k Paragon. And this means that, even if you don't have crazy Paragons, then you can still do like 140 plus quite reliably once you have the full setup, once you know how to play it properly. And this is exactly what I want to talk about. And one of the main aspects, the main mechanics of this build is the Briggs Wrath. If you play this setup, there are other setups as well, for example a Crimson setup without Briggs, but I think for the most part most people will probably use this. I believe this is slightly better, it is more consistent, and you simply have more control, and personally also have much more fun with this. The way this works is it pulls uncursed enemies together. So when you use your, in this case, Decrepify, you see the circle here, and everything in the circle will be pulled towards the center. And the good part about this is that this is a so-called pixel pull skill. So this is similar to the Groundstorm Rancing Smash or the Rancer's Folly on the Wizard, where stuff will get stacked more tightly than it otherwise could. So you can see this here. There. Everything is in exactly 1 pixel, and this is the so-called pixel pull. And like this you can get area damage from all the targets. It is very strong, and you can increase your DPS manifold like this. So when you have even just 10 targets stacked or so, you have the area damage proccing from all targets to all other targets, and you have the Bone Spear Blighted Marrow effect that gives you 50% extra damage, which is also a multiplier for the skill. So that, when you have to shoot at like rather tiny AoE, you actually get a huge damage bonus when you hit as many targets. And this is how you are able to kill the trash in 150s. And I can show you it's actually not that hard to kill stuff on the high tiers with this Briggs Wrath effect. So let's just remove all our Paragons here, for example. We keep the movement speed and the essence, and this is otherwise, very low level. We have 15k intelligence. It's just coming from the augments mainly, and there's the 2 gems. That's about it, yeah. So the setup is a standard Bone Spear. We have dailies. I have lost time here. I'm actually missing some damage rolls. For example, here is no Bone Spear damage. Here is no crit roll. I don't have an augment here. Otherwise, my gear is pretty good, but it's nothing really super extraordinary. And if we just go into, let's say, 150, we will be able to one-shot trash almost entirely. So we pull them together like this. And so now you see that you're trying to make pulls here, and usually try to do that before your poison cycle. So you're trying to get them together, stack them up, and you can already see I'm killing trash, and this is with 15k intelligence, nothing really crazy. And you can see the effect of stacking these guys so tightly here. You just blast this and move on. And the good thing is that with Briggs, you can recurse them if you run away. You see, usually the curse lasts 30 seconds, but if you run off screen for around 2-3 screens, then you can just come back and curse them again and Briggs them again, so to say. And this is very effective. This is actually what I do most of the time when I'm pushing myself. I basically make these pulls and then try to finish them off in one go, and if I can't, I will just come back after one cycle on another pull and basically run back and forth between them. So here this is a rather bad map, so usually you wouldn't really play this, but let's just go with it for the sake of it. And you can see here we Briggs them again and we nuke them. You can even run into the Oculus here once you get them. And obviously I'm killing stuff a bit more slowly than I otherwise would. I just lost around 10,000 intelligence. So in my case I am like 3 tiers weaker now from removing all our Paragons. But you can see the principle, I guess. So here's one of these juicy big rooms. So that here you try to wait for the physical cycle. You want to Briggs stuff for your physical cycle. And like this, you have to try to survive a little bit. This is also where lost time comes in handy, and also the Steward's Greaves that I use. But you don't have to use Steward's Greaves, and most people don't, because they rather take the survivability. So I can do both, but here you see the effect. When you have the Briggs Wrath, everything just dies, and once you recycle and you move on. Now, you can even Briggs stuff like these bogans here, for example. The problem is that some of these monster types work better than others, and it's kind of hard to do sometimes. So the one key aspect of this Briggs though is that you can you have to use it on an empty spot. So when you use it on an enemy, it will just curse them and knock them up like this, and sometimes they don't move. So it depends a little bit on the monster type. But generally you need to find a spot in between all the other monsters. So you want to basically kite them around in a circle, for example. But if I just curse them like this here, sometimes they will not all stack in the same corner. And especially after you have done your first bricks, you will not be able to stack everything as tightly as the rest in the same pole. So you can just add like stuff to the pole like this, but you see like these guys on the left, they are like a little bit left out from the pole. And generally you want to get as much as possible in your first Briggs Wrath. And then you can stack up multiple things. Like here's a camp, and now we do another camp and another camp. So you stack them up in a line, and then we blast. And the good part about this is you can actually have like, you know, one main pole where you have like, you know, like the 20, 30 monsters or something. And then you have like another small pole. And if you have the small pole in front of the big pole, you get the blighted marrow effect, where you will basically just destroy the big pole super easily, because all those bone spears that will fly to the big pole will be buffed from this 15% stacking damage effect that you get from hitting more enemies. And like this, you can, you know, just basically keep some of the trash alive on purpose by having it, you know, as a small camp in front of the big camp. But the big camp will just will be destroyed. And on lower tiers, you can also kill elites like this rather quickly. But on 150, it's hard to do, especially when you're doing this with 15k int. But when you're going like, let's say 140, 145, there is still a real possibility to kill elites. There are a few inconsistencies with this, so I noticed that certain monsters, for whatever reason, they don't get uncursed when you run away. There's also one thing where when you door hop between levels, basically what you can do is you can curse stuff here, and you can go back, and you can go back in again, and you can curse them again. Like the curse disappears when you go to town or when you go to the previous floor. So this is what I do sometimes when I'm at the start of the rift and there's a good pull here. So you pull this stuff together, you blast this, and then you realize, okay, stuff is starting to spread out, and we go back, and here we go, we can curse again. Yeah, this is something you can use as a little trick sometimes, but obviously you can't just stay at the door forever. So this is usually just for the first pull in the rift, but it can also be helpful like this. Yeah, so this is generally how this goes, and I can just recommend you trying this out when you're pushing with your Bone Spear build, or maybe any other necro build that fits that in. There's not that many of them, but here and there are some, especially farming builds, and it is very effective. I can also show you a clip here from one of my 150 pushes, where I felt I was doing this, you know, quite well, and you can see me basically doing a circle or two circles around in the festering woods, basically trying to get the juicy pulls, ignoring the elites for the most part. You're not gonna kill them on the super high tier, like past the 145. I actually have killed 0 elites so far, besides having a convert on my 150 pushes, and I'm almost 1,000 keys in now. It's just not a build that does that, and with this setup at least, you will not, you know, never kill any elites unless you get super lucky somehow and have like a super juicy power nuke with like 50 monsters and somehow you one-shot a blue or so. That can happen, but that is quite unrealistic because sometimes there's like the blue running away in another corner or so. So I'll leave you with this little clip here from my run, and basically I want you to pay attention to how I'm making the pulls, how I'm running back and forth between the pulls, how I'm doing a circle around the map, and always looking for the juicy big pulls that I can bricks together and then just blast in one shot. So this is about it. I hope you enjoyed this video, it's gonna help you, and I hope you like this video. So see you guys next time. Nice water. Channel. It's our second panel already, so it's really nice. My Sims are dead. Oh, no! Almost! Almost. We had the channel. What a save. Spillback is dying. That's not looking great here. Yeah, it was also a really insane start of this floor, but this is bad, yeah. Though. No. Why is fucking every blue waller here? Literally. Not even funny anymore. Well, Conrad needs to be on his floor. And he has a pretty good spot for it actually, I have many elites. No pylon. I could get it on next floor too, I guess, but... Oh, this blue is almost dead actually. Yeah, Conrad would be nuts here. Could almost spawn. We have a lot of time. No pylon at all. Just spamming. Got the 2 pylons quite early and then nothing. And there's... Okay, floor 4. Good though. And before this 1% progress spawns it now. I'll be salty.